Welcome back. In this episode, let's complete the final part of this site plan. So most likely we are going to handle this section in this very episode. So if I go back to my AutoCAD site plan, you see that basically what we have left is the section that is under the plan itself, as shown in the already finished product. But I'm going to make a little changes to what you are seeing here. We will do this, which is the legend, and then probably instead of doing this is just a normal text. So instead of repeating or demonstrating how to insert another text, I will now use something else that is different from what you have here. Maybe we will use a table to display the survey data for the plan or something like that. And then we'll also do some other finishing touches to prepare our plan for final printing. So let's go back to the AutoCAD environment. So here in AutoCAD, I'm going to start off with the legend. So basically, the legend will contain some of these elements that are listed or shown on the plan. For example, like this stream feature, the boundary, plot boundary, the access road, the beacons, and any other feature that you think you would like to define on the legend. I think in the finished product, we have about just 3 items: the stream, beacon, road, and that is all. But we could have also included the uh, plot boundary and things like that. So let's go back to AutoCAD. So here, in order for me to organize my work, I will create another layer just for the legend. And then I'll go back. I'll go to the layer properties, then make another layer. I think this is also a good idea for us to create a layer for our stream. So I'm going to create maybe 2 layers now, one for the stream and then one for the legend. And then I'll quickly move the stream to the appropriate layer. So I'm going to demonstrate that for you in case if you have an existing feature and you want to transfer it from the current layer to a different new layer. I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's quickly create the layers. So the first, I'm going to call it legend. We're going to make use of it later on. Then the one I'm going to use now is called stream. So let me make the layer, the current layer, by double clicking on this button to make it green tick. Then I can close the layer property dialog box. So remember, the stream is the active layer, and I want to move the stream to the stream layer. So what I will do first, let me see if I can off some of these features. It is the borderline, so the borderline is off. And then if I off the zero layer, okay, you can see most of the features are under the zero layer, which is the default layer. So I think the plan itself can be on a layer called plan. So let me quickly do that. I'll create a new layer and then I'll call it plan. So this is the layer that will contain the plan. So let me make it current and move the plan to that layer. So the plan layer is the active layer, is the current layer, and then in order for you to move any feature that is on a different layer to a new layer, you first of all draw an object on the new layer. So here I'm just using a line. I'll just draw a simple line, and this simple line is now on this layer. So if I if I off the plan layer, you see that the feature will disappear. So if I on it back, the feature appears. So which shows that the feature is on that layer. If I select it, you see that the layer name is the plan layer. So that is how to know if a feature or if an object is in a layer or not. So let me move the whole of this plan to the plan object. So to do that, I'm going to use this tool called match layer. So match layer allows you to change the layer of a selected object into a new one. So I'll click on it, and then it asks me to select object. So click and select this object like this, including these bearings and these beacon numbers. So after selecting them, then I'll press the enter button and then select object destination. Then I'll now click on the layer that has the plan, that has the on an object that has the layer I want to move to. And then now if I select this object, you see that all of them are now in the plan layer. So you select object on a different layer, and then you press enter and then select the current layer where you want to move the new objects to, the selected objects to. So now if I off the plan layer, you see that all my plans are now in the plan layer, and then I can turn it on and off just like this. So now it makes it easier for me to move this stream. So I'm going to make sure that the stream layer is active layer. Then I will just quickly draw a line under the stream layer. So I'm basically repeating what I did earlier. So if I select it, you see that the stream is the active layer, is the layer for this line object. So now to move this stream to the stream layer, all I need to do is to pick the layer match command and then select the stream. So after I've selected it, I press enter, and then I need to select object on a destination layer. So this is the destination layer object. I'll select it, and then now everything is now moved to the stream layer. So if I select it, you see that the layer name is the stream layer. And now I can delete this, which is just a temporary line. So now I can turn off the stream, and then you see that the stream will disappear. If I can turn off the stream, I can turn off the scale, I can turn off the title, that is this, and the title will disappear. I can turn off the legend, I can turn off the stream will go, I can turn off the plan will go. So it is actually a good idea to have different layers for different features on your plan, most especially if you are working on a very big plan or a complex plan. So it makes your life easier later on. So let's move on with the legend. So I'm going to make sure that the legend layer is active. Then I'll start using it to draw my legend. So the legend is going to look like this. So we'll have the text for the legend. Then we'll have just a 2-column box, one containing the shapes and then the other containing the description of the shapes. So let's do that. So I'm going to use this section to do that. So remember, I'm doing it under the legend layer. So first things first is to draw the box. So I'll draw the rectangle by picking the rectangle tool, or I can simply type the command rectangle and then select it. Then click maybe somewhere here and then make the rectangle. So this is the box where I'm going to put in my legend. So I'll pick the line tool and then I'll subdivide it maybe at this on the orthogonal mode to make it a perfectly vertical line. I can now off it back. Then I can trim off this excess part of the line. So use the trim command. I can type in trim. I'll just pick the trim tool. So now I have my legend box ready. Then I'll use the text. So I'm picking the text command. Then on the box, I just want to have the title legend written on the box, written above the box. So I'll just type legend in capital letter. Then I can select it, increase the text height maybe to 1, then move it at least to a central position on the box. Click somewhere here and then move it to a central position on the box. Then I need to split this line maybe into 3 since I'm going to have just 3 features on the legend. So draw horizontal lines. If I use the line command L for line, then on my orthogonal mode, so I'll click somewhere here, draw a horizontal line, terminate, and then repeat it, then draw maybe another one somewhere here, terminate it. Then I can now use the trim command, trim, and then trim out the excess spaces here. So this is it. Terminate the trim command by pressing the enter button. So our legend box is coming to shape. Then the next things I need to have is the objects. So for example, like this stream, I'll draw a small stream somewhere here to represent my stream and then put the name in this longer or wider cell. So I'll just use I'll just copy this text. I'll copy them here of this auto mode. So inside this text, I'm going to reduce the text height to maybe 0.4, maybe 0.6. Okay, and I can now change the text. So this is going to be called stream. I think maybe I can use capital case. So stream, then I can copy it down on the auto mode. The next one is maybe the beacon number. Some changes to beacons. And maybe the last one, you can just call it access route. Access route. So the legend can be more than this. This is just for demonstration sake, just to give you an idea of what is possible. So all that is included in a legend is what you have on the plan that you want to define. There are features on the plan that maybe will be confusing to your plan reader. So you would like to define them as a legend on the legend. So it is optional, but it is good if you have it. Some land authorities may not lay emphasis on this, so you may not bother about it. But if your land authority has emphasis on this, then you have no option than to do it. So To draw the stream, I'll just use the sketch. I'll use the sketch command to just sketch out. So this is it. Then I can use the hash. I'll use the hash tool to hash it. If I can remember the hash pattern we use, all I need to do is to pick the correct hash pattern and then hash the interior. So if I really want to make sure the hash pattern is matched, I'll just select this and then I can see that the hash pattern I used was grass. So I'll go back to the legend and then modify it. So the hash pattern was grass. So scroll to locate grass. This is it. And then modify it. Then if I can remember very well, the entire thing was set to blue color. So I'll select it and then change the layer color. Change the object color to blue. So that is for the stream. Then the beacon, I'll just make a copy of this beacon. So I'll copy it of the orthogonal modes and then I'll have it here for the beacon. Then the access road is just a double line. So I'll pick the line command, then just draw two parallel lines. Maybe something like this. That will signify the access road. Or I can just, instead of drawing another, I can just use the offset. And then I'll offset true. So T for true. So maybe the offset up to this level is okay. To represent the access route. Zoom to extend. Zoom to extend. So our legend is coming to shape. And we can leave it as it is. Remember to save your work. So if I go back to the section where we are working on, the next thing we may like to add is the control we use for this particular survey job. So it is highly recommended you have at least the coordinate of one of the controls you use to tie the survey job to. So in this case, you can list the eastern and the northern coordinate. The height may not be necessary, but it all depends on the land authority you are submitting the plans to. If they insist they want to see the height of the control point, why not? If they insist you must tie your job to more than one control point, why not? You have to follow their guidelines. So, but in this case, I'm going to list the coordinate of just one of the control point that was used to tie this job. And the control point, the name is given as this. So this is just a normal text. And there's no big deal. You have been writing text before. So it's just a matter of having a text and then keeping this thing inside. Keeping the value of the eastern and the northern inside the text. So that is as simple as that. So I'll not waste time showing you how to write this. The next thing I would like to show you is instead of typing another text, so the whole of this section is also another text. So I'm not going to waste time showing you how to write another text. Instead, I will show you something that is more important. So in some instances, you'll be required to show the survey data for the beacons. So for these 4 beacons, you need to show the survey data, the coordinates, that's the eastern and the northern of the 4 points, and then the bearings and then the distances that link the 4 points. So here I've prepared an Excel table that lists out the survey data. So station from point 1 to point 2, we have the coordinate, the eastern and the northern of this point. starting point, and then we have the bearings and then the distances linking the points together. So this is in Excel file. So the simple way to import this Excel into AutoCAD is just to copy it, select the cell range, copy it, and then paste it inside the AutoCAD environment. So that is the easiest way to do it. So just paste and then click, and then there you have your data. So apart from copying and pasting, there are other ways you could import this Excel table, but it all depends on what you want. If copying and pasting, if you need something that is more than copying and pasting, then you can use what is known as data link. So you use data link to link your Excel sheet to AutoCAD. And some other ways you can do it is to use the special paste options. So under the home tab, if you go to clipboard, you see paste, and then when you select paste, you have different options of pasting. So when you click on special paste, you see that you have different options to choose from. So you can paste an Excel table from Microsoft Excel worksheet. You can paste it as AutoCAD entity. You can paste it as a text, as an image entity. You can paste this as a link, either in Microsoft Excel link or AutoCAD entity. Let's try normal pasting as AutoCAD entity. So select paste, then AutoCAD entity. So you click on OK. You see that the table is here. It's going to be pasted for you, just like that. And then when you select it, you can use this arrow to either increase the width or use this arrow to increase the entire size of the uniformly stretch the table width and height. So you can increase the size of the table height and width. So but the first pasting we did directly is okay for us. So these are some ways you can import a table into your AutoCAD environment. So the next thing I would like us to do is to print out, to show you how you can print out this, because the ultimate end result of this plan is to have it on a paper or in a soft copy as an image or a PDF file that can be used by our client, someone who is not familiar with the AutoCAD software or who doesn't have the AutoCAD software installed on his machine. So to do that, all we need to do is to go to the plotter. You can press Ctrl P on your keyboard to open up the plotter model, and then here we can select the printer we want to use. So depending on whatever printer you have installed on your machine, you can select the printer right from here. But here I'm not going to print it directly. Instead, I'm going to print it to AutoCAD PDF. To PDF, I'm going to use the PDF printer that comes with AutoCAD. So you can make use of any of these PDF printers installed in the AutoCAD software, or you can make use of this JPEG or PNG printers that come with AutoCAD. You can even install your own third-party PDF printer, like this PDF Creator. It's a third-party software installed. We also have the Microsoft Print to PDF. So all these are different printers that we can use to print the plan to PDF file, so that we can share with others, colleague or our client who doesn't have a AutoCAD installed on his machine. So for the purpose of this, I will just make use of this AutoCAD PDF general document. So I will now select the size of paper I want to make use of. So remember, the scale we chose, which is 1:250, is for A3 paper size. But if you want to make use of a different paper, then it means you need to change the scale. So I will now go to display. I will select what to plot by using this window. So I'll click on the top corner and then click on the lower corner to select the entire plan. Then I now need to centralize. Then I need to select portrait here. If this is hidden, if you cannot see the portrait selection, just click on this arrow to expand it and then you'll see it. Then the scale is 1:250, 1:25, which is equivalent to 1:250. So if I click on the preview button, I will see my plan just like that. Then I can now select it, right click. I will now right click and go to plot. So this plot will plot my drawing in AutoCAD and I will save it to my desktop. So I'm just calling it plan model, plan 1 model. I can change the name, you can change the name to whatever you want. The most important thing is that the file type is set to PDF. If I click on save, this should print out the plan to PDF. And remember, the paper size we use is A3. If you use a different paper size, then the scale will not fit in correctly. So this is our plan on A3 paper size. So, but just in case, if you want to make use of a different paper size, for example, let's assume you want to make use of A4 instead of A3, then it means you need to change the scale to fit into A4. So let me quickly show you how to do it. So if you go to plot, then select your printer. I'm using this printer. Then I will select A4. Can use A4 iOS A4. So let me use this one. That is portrait. Then I will select portrait here. Then I will select what to plot. So what to plot is this region. So this is the area I want to plot. I will center the plot. Then with the fit to scale option ticked, I will preview it. So this is on A4. And if I go back, exit, go back and check the scale that fits in, you see that the scale that fits in is 300, 1:300 and 350, 354 approximately. So I can change it to 1:350. Let's see 1:350. Let's see how it will fit in. So you can see 1:350 also fits in. But 1:350 may not be a conventional scale for a land surveyor. So we may need to change it to maybe either 1:300 or maybe 1:500. So let's see 1:300. So 1:300 is too large because it is cutting away some part of our plan. So let's go back. 1:250 will definitely not work. So what you do is either we leave it on 1:350 or we change it to maybe a more conventional scale, which is 1:500. So we can change it to maybe 1:500. But 1:500 will be a little bit small on an A4 paper. So this is 1:500, which is a more conventional scale compared to 1:350. So if you must use 1:500 on an A4 paper, then you set it. But before you convert it to PDF, you need to go back, cancel, go back, and then change the statement scale and then the representative fraction to match the new scale we want to make use of. Maybe 1:500. And then this will now be 0.5 meters. So maybe 0.50 meters. Then I can now make use of A4 paper instead of A3. The graphical scale will not change. It's still the same thing. The only thing that will change is the statement and then the representative fractional scale. So print to PDF. Then I'll make sure that I select A4. Then I'll choose my scale as scale 1:500. Then I want to print the window. I want to print this part of the drawing. Select the area. Then fit center the plot. Then I need to make it portrait. Then preview. And this is scale 1:500. Then I can now plot my plan. Have it on the desktop. I'll call it model on scale 500, 1:500. So I'll plot the scale. So this is now on A4 paper on scale 1:500. While the earlier one we plotted was on A3 paper on scale 1:250. So at least these are more conventional scales compared to 1:400 or 1:350 or even 1:300. But it all depends on what you want. At least you have seen how to play around with the scale just in case. So either way, this graphical scale bar doesn't affect whatever scale you are plotting on, as long as it carries the correct unit or the correct distances on the scale bar. So with this, I've come to the end of this section, and then in the next episode, we are going to look at some other different topics. So hope to see you then. Have a nice day. Bye bye.